An inscription on an old ballot box indicates that golf has been played in the village of Cruden Bay since 1791. And from the moment you arrive at this friendly club, just 26 miles north of Aberdeen, you can see why. Stunning sea vistas and towering dunes make this a beautiful place to play your golf. The story of Cruden Bay Golf Club really begins in the last decade of the 19th century, when the Great North of Scotland Railway Company set about popularising Port Errol as a summer retreat for the British gentry. By 1896, the Cruden Railroad was up and running, and in March 1899, the Grand Cruden Bay Hotel, constructed from pink granite and boasting 94 bedrooms, was open to the public. Hoping to provide recreational facilities fit for its esteemed guests, the railway company enlisted old Tom Morris and Archie Simpson to design a golf course, 18 holes and 5,300 yards in length. It opened for play in April 1899. A grand setting and gentrified atmosphere designed to impress the tourist and recreational golfer, the course also attracted the best golfers of the day. Its opening was celebrated by way of a 2-day professional tournament, with the 6-time Open champion Harry Varden taking home the princely sum of £30. Winners at Cruden Bay also include Ted Ray, who won there the year prior to winning the Open at Muirfield, and Dr. William Tweddle, amateur champion and twice Walker Cup captain. The course we enjoy today, though, is the product of Tom Simpson and Herbert Fowler, who, in 1926, redesigned the original 18, adding some length and modifying the playing lines on certain holes. Nevertheless, many of the green sites were retained, and the core elements of the routing from Archie Simpson and Old Tom remain intact. Indeed, the par 5 6th hole closely resembles the design by Old Tom, with the green tucked behind a burn on a small plateau and tempting the player into a blind second shot played almost at right angles to the fairway. Tom Simpson, a long admirer of Cruden Bay, well before his official involvement, called this one of his favourite holes in the British Isles. In fact, well-protected greens are a defining feature of Cruden Bay. Humps, swales and false fronts will punish any poorly struck or wayward approach shot. And of the fantastic opening stretch, the par 3 4th hole stands out. From the elevated tee, you can take in views of the fishing village and Old Harbour, Port Errol, and the towering dunes which frame the green in the distance. If you come up short, you could be there for a while. Unusually for such an old course, there's a long and strenuous uphill walk between the 8th green and the 9th tee, but the reward is worth it. As you reach the highest point in the course, you can take in panoramic views across the course, the clubhouse and the North Sea, with the infamous 14th bathtub green sat below the cliff face, the only chance you have to take stock of the pin location. The back 9 works its way down the shoreline, and the stretch from 13 to 16 stands out for its quirkiness and the strength of challenge. Indeed, it's easy to see how Cruden Bay would have been an idyllic spot for members of the British high society in the early 20th century. One could swim in the sea, spend an afternoon on the beach, play golf and enjoy luxurious accommodation. For many, including Winston Churchill, Cruden Bay offered a relaxing escape, and for others, such as Bram Stoker, this is a place for inspiration, and although he spent his summers here several years before the golf course was opened, the ruins of Slains Castle, which provided much of the inspiration for Dracula, remain visible to this day from the clubhouse and the course. Unfortunately, the Great Depression and the Second World War caused the hotel to fall into disrepair, and it couldn't emulate similar resorts such as Glen Eagles, which had also been funded by the railway companies. And in the 1950s, the hotel was sold to a demolition contractor who recovered his expense through the sale of the lead in the roof. The pink granite was used in the construction of many local houses, and the dance floor was installed in the local Kilmarnock Arms Hotel. The plan was to turn the golf course into a sheep farm and the most profitable option, but thankfully, a small group of local businessmen, Quinton Murray, Angus Carmichael and John Glennie, intervened and bought the course for £2,750, and in 1983 Cruden Bay Golf Club Limited was dissolved and the shareholders were paid back their investment, making the golf club the full legal owner of the course and all the related land and property. In keeping with its surroundings, the story of Cruden Bay is up and down roller coaster of emotions. A history unrecognisable to many of the world's best golf courses, and yet it's for this reason that perhaps that's the biggest legacy left by this club. In a world where we see courses that were developed for the enjoyment of all, that have slowly become less and less attainable, at Cruden Bay, originally built for the benefit of outsiders, to serve the upper class and aristocracy, it's now a golf club run for the benefit of the community. It's not elitist or inaccessible. It's a relaxed place where friendship's the primary goal. There may be a world-class golf course waiting for you outside, but you get the feeling it's the warm welcome inside that they want to be known for above all else. Cruden Bay is the heartbeat of the local town, and hopefully that will never change, wherever this story goes.